welcome everyone. So today I'm posting this really special video that I've been thinking about for the past few months. Usually, for the past few months, I've been posting videos related to some topic in health and wellness. I've been They are more scripted videos on a particular topic, but today it's more of a personal one. And this is a video, as I said, I've been thinking about doing for quite a while. And because this is such a special year, I thought this would be the perfect time to do this video. And before I go any further, I'm Dr. Simone. I'm a medical doctor and a health and wellness coach, and I help busy professional women who feel overwhelmed at work build consistent wellness habits so that they can feel grounded and energized, even if their work weeks feel chaotic. So, if any of this connects with you, subscribe. I am posting videos on this YouTube channel all for you if that if you fit into that category. So take a look around. They're really valuable videos that can help you no matter what stage you are in your health and wellness and what problem you face. So this year is a really special one because it's 10 years since I became a doctor, and it's also 5 years since I became a health and wellness coach. And I thought to mark this occasion, because I think I need to do a little better about celebrating my milestones and my wins, I wanted to start off this year with this video celebrating those milestones. And I wanted to do this YouTube video where I talk about the 15 lessons, health and life lessons that I've learned along the way in the past 10 years. And I chose 15 because 10 for the number of years I'm a doctor and 5 for the number of years that I'm a health and wellness coach. So this is in no particular order. These are just the things, of course, there I could list maybe 100 more lessons, but these are the things that came to mind for me right now. And I don't have a script or anything. I just have the topic here. I have my laptop. So if you see me looking down, I'm just kind of reminding myself of what the lessons are. And I'm just going to give you my personal experience and my insights into each lesson. But first, let me have a sip of tea. I have some lemon ginger tea here. My throat feels a little funny, but we'll see what happens. So I'm having some lemon ginger tea just to make sure. Um, okay, so let's get started. So the first lesson I want to talk about is you have to give yourself permission. And what I mean by that, I talk about this all the time. That's one of the personal stories that I talk about all the time. My experience being a medical intern 10 years ago. One of the things in hindsight that I realized that I used to do was thinking that or wanting the people around me to give me the permission to take care of myself. So to take a break, to drink water, to eat lunch. I would feel better if somebody said, "Okay, go ahead, do this," right? And I would wait for that, right? And that never came, right? Of course, in my experience, there were people who were kind and was, ask you if you ate and all that kind of thing. But everyone has their own things to deal with, and they have their own agendas and that kind of thing. And so I realized that instead of waiting for people to give me permission to take care of myself, I had to take control of that and to, put my health and well-being first, because everyone is doing that for themselves as well. And it doesn't mean that you're neglecting your responsibilities or, treating people badly, but it just means giving yourself the permission and not feeling guilty about taking care of yourself and your well-being. A 10-minute break to have lunch, or taking 5 minutes away just to have a sip of water before you get back into things isn't hurting anyone. And in the long run, it helps you and it sustains you. And it's great practice, giving yourself permission to do the even bigger things. Because if you can't give yourself permission to have lunch, right? How are you going to give yourself permission to do the bigger things in life? Like, for example, for me, changing careers, And so that was one of the biggest lessons I learned. The second lesson is burnout isn't a flex. I feel like, society and, the world kind of praises us going, hustling, hustling, hustling. I think now, post COVID, I think we have kind of stepped away a little and we have improved in that way. But I feel like before, we used to praise, going, hustling, team no sleep, right? Even not too long ago, I was in a store and I saw a T-shirt that says, "If you're winning, you're not sleeping," or something to that effect. It was like a one of those major workout brands. They had a T-shirt that said that, and I was thinking, why is it that you have to not sleep to be able to win? I don't think that is true. And so, being burning out yourself to be able to get a particular goal or result, it's not necessary. Actually, it kind of slows you down and prevents you from sustaining those results, because eventually it catches up to you, and you can't go on any longer, and you end up resenting the things that you built, the life that you created, even though it's something that you love and you want to and you feel passionate about it. If it burns you out, it's not a great sustainable plan. And so burnout isn't a flex. Not sleeping, not taking care of yourself, and just wearing away at your body, for the sake of a goal or result, is not a flex for me anymore. And that was one of the lessons that I've learned over the past 10 years. Another lesson, and that's number three, our behaviors and our habits are learned. I think one of the things that, we as humans, working women, we say all the time is just, I'm just XYZ person. I'm just a late person. I'm just, fill in the blanks, whatever it is. You can think about what are the things that you tell yourself, what kind of person you are, right? And one of the things I've realized is that all of those things we label ourselves as a result of the habits that we have day to day, week to week. And just as we, build those habits, those are things that we would have learned and practiced along the way. The opposite is also true. We can also unlearn those habits and become totally different people. How many people do you know in your life that have totally transformed in so many ways? You know them as one person for, quite a number of years, and something happened and they totally transformed in some way. And so, if you tell yourself that this is just the way I am, this is just the person I am, I think that can be really limiting. And I've learned that. And it just takes you making the decision to switch up one habit to totally become a different person. If you say, I'm not a person that exercises, I just can't exercise consistently. For example, all it takes for you is to be able to have the habit of showing up, even if it's for 5 minutes, 1 minute, 10 minutes a day, and you can become a person who exercises, right? And so everything is learned, everything is practiced, and your identity isn't set in stone. You can change it at any time based on what you do and practice every day. The fourth lesson is a lot of the physical symptoms that we experience often have a lifestyle cause, or a lifestyle reason is part of the reason why you're experiencing this, right? And, I came to realize that before I would have started my coaching journey in particular, I would have worked privately. And so what I realized based on the complaints and the symptoms that people were experiencing, a lot of the physical symptoms that people would walk into my office with, when we really got to digging deeper into why they were experiencing these things and all of the things contributing to it, it often related to things that are happening in their life. So, work related stress, family things, relationships. Once I always tell this story, once I had a patient come in and she was experiencing headaches. And, we got to talking and she was just expressing to me all of the things that she was experiencing at work and the challenges that she had. And I just sat down and I listened to her. And after she left, before she got up to leave, she was just like, oh, I feel so much better. And I didn't write a prescription for any painkillers. I didn't give her sick leave or anything. All she needed was that opportunity to sit down and to express how she was feeling. And we realized that all of those things were contributing to her headaches. And so, if you're experiencing any physical symptom right now, of course, get those. I'm all for investigating those. Make sure you cross your eye, dot your I's and cross your T's with all of your medical symptoms and all those things. But if you find it, you're going to all the doctors and you're finding it difficult to pinpoint any particular cause for any symptom, check your lifestyle, check the things that are stressing you out. Oftentimes those things manifest as physical symptoms as well. And it's important to focus on that. And I saw that in my own experience. I would have suffered from severe acne, all of those things. They had lifestyle contributors as well. And I see it and I've seen it, in the people and the patients that I've took care of and the clients that I see right now. So pay attention to your lifestyle. Um, what's going on in your lifestyle now? It may be affecting how you feel physically. So, number five is support is a non negotiable. One thing that I've realized in my journey becoming an entrepreneur, it really revealed some of the challenges and issues, or things that were, holding me back and limiting me as well. And one of the things I realized is that I'm not a person that, readily embraces support. Sometimes it takes a while for me. And what I realize is that a lot of times in the journey, whatever journey you're embarking on, personal, work, I don't care what it is, health, wellness, support is such a big part because we're not meant to do things alone. And I've realized that in so many ways in the past 10 years, all of the big decisions that I've made, all of the things that I have done, big things that I've done in my career, in my health and wellness, if I really think about it, I have asked for support or had support to be able to get it done. When I first started this journey, I realized, okay, I was overwhelmed with my career and wanting to transition, and I was trying to figure it out on my own. And I realized, okay, I need to ask somebody a question. I need to reach out to somebody to ask, what they think, how they can see me moving the next step. And that was something I've told the story not too long ago on Instagram where, you know, in 2020 I was really overwhelmed with my career and knowing what direction to go into. And so I didn't know where to go, but the first step was to go to a therapist. And because I reached out for that support, she listened to my challenges. She was like, I actually know somebody who can help you. And she directed me to a career coach. And within 3 months, with the work that we did, I was enrolling into my health and life coaching certification. And this is just to show you that I would have probably taken months, maybe years to get to that point, trying to figure it out all on my own. Um, but it just took me 3 months with the support that this person gave me, and the push that he gave me as well to be able to reach the point where I made this big, very transformative decision and one that I don't regret in the least. And so support is such an important part of the process. If you're doing it all alone and you're feeling like, okay, this is not working, you're not getting the results you want, ask a question, look for a group, ask somebody to help you with it. It really makes the difference in the long term. So number six is loss, disappointment, all of the negative things or feelings that you could think about is part of the journey. And sometimes we can look at it like it's a bad sign, but often it's a sign that good things are coming. So I could think about the wide range of a whole list of things that I would have lost or disappointments that I would have had over the last 10 years to get me to this point. And, if I would have looked at all of them as, just things to be sad and depressed about and to regret, I think I won't be in the position that I am today and have the mindset that I have today. Actually, a lot of the things that happen, you know, the loss of the career that I thought I would have had, loss of relationships, all of those things actually fueled me and encouraged me to, dig deeper, to, take accountability. It often led to a new path, a new direction, and something great. If you're at the point in your life where things aren't going the way you want it to go, maybe there's, you're grieving, there's loss, there's disappointment, allow yourself to feel those things. But, let my experience tell you that oftentimes those things are often the beginning of, rebirth, a new beginning, a new direction that will, lead you to even better things. So if you're going through anything at this point, let that be a reminder. So we are at number 7. So we are about halfway through. So the next lesson is perfect will hold you back. And coming from my background, a lot of us who are doctors, we type A, we train to do things, absolutely perfectly. If you have that personality in general, not just doctors, but if you have that personality in general where, doing things perfectly, um, you know, is something that you do or that you try to do, it will definitely hold you back in a lot of situations. And one of the things that this journey has taught me, reclaiming my health and wellness, going on this entrepreneurship journey, is that perfect will definitely hold you back. And it has given me practice to do things, even if they're not 100%, or I feel like they're done perfectly, because most times, it just leads to procrastination and not doing things. And you need the practice to know what will work, what won't work, and actually you get to the result faster if you put things out that aren't perfect, and you learn from it quickly. Definitely learned not to wait until things are quote unquote perfect to be able to act, and to do. And thinking about it, an example of this past year, I actually had a video that went viral. And I'm really appreciative for that experience because it taught me a lot of things. And one of the things it taught me was that you don't need a perfect video, um, you know, lighting, and all of that to be able to be successful or to have a video or anything that will do well. It was just a video that I had, as I always do, record myself exercising. And I decided that day or the day before to post something that I was really passionate about, and people really connected with it. And I think that the reason it went viral wasn't because of the video, and because I had planned it months before. It was because I had a thought, I acted on it, and I used what I had, even if it wasn't perfect, and I posted the video and it did well. And so that's just to show you that, things don't have to look perfectly, they don't have to sound perfectly, to be able to put it out there. It's all about the message, what you have to offer. That goes a longer way than, putting together things in a perfect way. We live in an imperfect world. And so, the things that are imperfect often, do the best and produce the best results. Number 8 is I've learned that shame and guilt, they can be part of change behavior. And I think one of the things that I've realized is that, a lot of us hold on to shame and guilt around a lot of things, in our lives, with our health and wellness. And so it kind of prevents us from taking steps and taking action, because we feel like, um, it's too late to start because look where I am now. You're afraid of what other people will think. The shame around that, shame around what you eat, what you've been eating before, how you've been exercising, the weight that you are right now. Sometimes those things hold us back, a lot more than we think. And this takes time. Let me tell you, this takes time. This is not an easy fix. But if you're aware of it, that's always a first step. Being aware of what you feel ashamed about, what you feel guilty about, it's always a great step into kind of changing things and looking at where you're holding yourself back because you feel shame or guilt around a particular thing. um it takes practice, but it's something that you can work on and improve. And I realize that we hold a lot of shame, especially in health and wellness, around food and weight, and it can also, it can hold us back. And that's one of the things that I try in my messaging and in my content, to remove the guilt and shame that is centered around wellness in particular, especially with women. To come from a compassionate, empathetic place when I talk and I deal with these issues, because health and wellness is really a personal thing. And we're not always forthcoming in terms of sharing. And so I think empathy, compassion, kindness is important, and it goes a long way rather than shaming people into changing their behaviors. That's just my approach, and I found that has been helpful in my own journey and in the way that I deal with my clients and patients now. So number 9 is change behavior in your health and wellness, in your business, whatever area of life. It needs a holistic approach, right? And I've learned that in two ways, right? One in my health and wellness, and in business as well. So in my health and wellness, and in the way that I approach health and wellness with my clients too, we can talk all day about the meal plan. We can talk all day about the exercise. Um, but that's just the surface level of things. That's just the action that happens at the end. When you really look at it, a lot of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis, there's a result of the things that we think, a lot of the past experiences that we have. Our lifestyle affects certain things, our relationships affect certain things. So it's not just about being able to have an exercise routine 3 days a week. We have to look at the relationships you have, how much support you have. We have to look at what is happening with work. How is work affecting, how you show up to exercise, how the your mindset around exercise is. And so it's not just about getting the habit done. It's about looking at all of the things, looking at it holistically, all of the things that affect this habit. And I found that is really important, and why I went into this work too, because back when I was, in private practice full time, we would tell patients, okay, you need to exercise, eat, you know, healthier, all of the things, but we don't really tell them or guide them in terms of how to do it, and really look at all of the things that affect how they show up and how they are able to exercise and eat better. So we have a particular blood test result, a diagnosis, and we give lifestyle, recommendations. But it's just not enough to give, okay, I need to eat better, I need to exercise. We need to look at all of the other things that affect that so that we can get the best result possible. And so health and wellness, and in business as well, in my business, it's not just about posting on social media. What is my mindset around being visible and showing up on social media? All of those things affect how I'm able to share and make videos and post my message. So it's not just about the actions, it's about looking at your life and your lifestyle holistically, and looking at all of the things that affect how you show up. So changing behavior, changing how you approach your health, your wellness, your business, relationships, um, looking at it from all angles gives the best results. So number 10 is rest is productive. I I probably would not have thought that I thought that about rest. But now, in the situation that I am in the way that I help others, I've realized I too have, had limiting thoughts and negative beliefs about rest. That if you rest, you're lazy, you're not committed, you're not responsible. And so a lot of us, intentionally, consciously or unconsciously, think those things about rest. And, we live in a world, in a system where rest isn't rewarded. And, the people who hustle and work the hardest are praised all the time. And so, back to the burnout, lesson that I would have talked about previously, those are that belief and, thoughts about rest often leads us to being burnt out. We often think that if we rest and we take a break, that things won't get done. Um, that we're not committed, all of the things. And it just has us in a state of just going, survival mode. And actually, it works against us when we trying to, make certain changes in our health and wellness. Rest helps us to regroup, to think clearer, to reduce us making mistakes. I've learned that, the hard way. Um, and even I think a lot of us are in the position now, even when we have the opportunity to rest, sometimes we don't even rest effectively because we always think that something needs to happen. We need to be doing something, otherwise things won't get done. And if any of this connects with you and you have this experience, 2026, we more about resting. And resting and not just sleeping. And sleep, that's a big topic. Not just sleeping, but resting in terms of, taking a break from tasks, you know, resting in all the ways, taking a break during the workday. All of those things contribute. We don't just rest during sleep hours, we rest in a lot of ways throughout the day. And don't take for granted the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes throughout the day. It makes a difference, in maintaining your energy levels and sustaining you as you go and as you work and as you serve others. So rest is productive. It helps to keep you going. And, it takes practice and awareness, but it can be done and it can be changed and you can learn to rest. Number 11 is your energy is your greatest asset. I think in the past year, I would have come to this realization. I think it has always been in the way that I've been thinking, but in terms of focusing on energy, that has been something that I've been realizing in the past year. We always think, okay, I need more time. If I had more time, I would be able to do XYZ. I'll be able to exercise or meal prep. But if you really focus on, that balance between energy giving and energy draining activities, making sure that as you give, you're pouring back into yourself, time becomes a non-issue. Think about all of the times in your life where you had the energy to do things and you realize, okay, it didn't matter how much time you had in the day, you were able to complete it because you had the energy to be able to do it. Um, and so it's all about your energy, not just physical energy as well, but the energy that you give to things. So I've learned this, especially in my business. It's not just about doing the things, posting on social media, coaching. It's about the energy that I bring to what I do as well. Because if I don't believe that something will be successful, that it will work, if I don't bring that good energy towards it, then, it's hardly likely that it will work. And so, energy, both physically and the mental energy that you put towards things, is such, important to focus on. And time and environment and all of the things don't matter once your energy is where it needs to be. So number 12 is I realize that everything is made up. Everything that we do now when it comes to work, health and wellness, everything is made up. Some human at some point decided that had an idea and thought, okay, this is the way we should do things, and everybody followed behind, right? That's why we have trends, that one thing is trendy this year and next year it's not trendy. because everything is made up, right? And so nothing is rigid, nothing is set in stone, and you get the opportunity to create and curate your life, your health and wellness, your well being, your work, however you want it to be. And so, if everyone is doing something a certain way, there's no rule that you need to do it the same way as well, because everything is made up. That's all I have to say. Everything, when you really think about it, everything is made up. This top that I have on, somebody thought that it was a good idea for us to wear tops like these, and in 10, 15 years, it may no longer be something that we do or we wear anymore. Everything is made up. That the way that we work is made up. Now we work 8-hour days. Somebody made up that structure however many years ago. If we decide that, humanity decides that we're going to work 4 hours a day, and that's what some people are doing, that's going to be the standard. And so everything is made up. That's just, if you get what I'm going. That's all I have to say. Everything is made up. Nothing is set in stone. And so all of the rules that you limit yourself by, and you think that, it can be done, you can be the trendsetter and the leader, for how you want things to be done in your life. And it isn't uncomfortable because we don't like to be the outliers and the people that go against where everybody is going. But if you see your life, going in a particular way, just remember everything is made up and you can do it exactly how you want to do it. So number 13, it's okay to evolve. I think I had a hard time dealing with this, especially you know, back in 2016 when I would have graduated and I did my year of internship, and I really realized that the environment, the way that we worked wasn't something that I saw myself doing long term. And it really was disappointing. Back to the disappointment and the loss, that, I didn't want to go ahead with this career path, this traditional path. And I had evolved. I wasn't the same person I was 5 years prior when I walked into medical school. And I realized that, this wasn't the path that I wanted to take. And this is just a reminder that it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to evolve and, change your thoughts and beliefs on certain things and choose a different path. I remember back when I was, that in that internship year, I was so frustrated, angry, disappointed, just resenting, being in this particular space, the space that I'd chosen to be in, and it not being what I wanted and how I wanted to live my life. And I remember back that first year, I had to, we had graduation at the end of the year, and I didn't go because I didn't want to celebrate this life, this career that I had chosen. I had already had the ceremony we had where we took the Hippocratic oath, and I thought that was sufficient. But I felt it back then. I thought I was being fake for going to this celebration for this career that I wasn't enjoying and that brought me so much unhappiness. Go to my graduation. I don't think a lot of people realize that about me. The picture that I have of, me in my graduation gown was just, I had borrowed it from someone, and I knew that I wanted to have a graduation pic for professional reasons and that kind of thing. And so I just, had a picture taken just for that reason, but it wasn't my authentic graduation picture, to put it that way. And so it's okay to evolve. It's okay to change your mind, for things to not go the way that you thought it would have gone. It's okay to evolve, and I hope this helps somebody. So number 14 is being ready is an illusion. I think this kind of ties into the being, the perfection lesson as well. Sometimes we think, okay, this needs to be in order. I need to be ready before I can make this step. Um, Oftentimes the step that you take, if you ask, people who are successful in, different areas of their life, if they were feeling ready when they when they made this big step, or they made the decision. And oftentimes it's no. That's something about life, that oftentimes we are not always ready, that all the risk isn't removed when we make decisions. um but it's about taking that step and trusting yourself, because that's a big confidence booster. If you're not confident about where you are, what you do in whatever area, health and wellness, business, I suggest working on trusting yourself. And trusting yourself comes from, making those decisions even when you're not 100% sure. You don't have all the information, but you trust that you know that you make the best decisions from yourself for yourself. And when you see the results, you know that, okay, I made the good decision. I made And even if it doesn't work out, you learn something from it. And that really builds confidence. That's one of the best ways to build confidence, when you make those decisions, knowing the risks, knowing that you're not ready, but stepping forward and doing it bravely anyway. To the last and final one, and it's being an entrepreneur is a self development journey. Um, this is a, I mean, I coach people. That's what I do. I do the wellness coaching, but this journey for me has been one of the most eye opening and seasons of growth that I've ever had to go through. It revealed a lot of the things, a lot of the negative thoughts that I have, a lot of the positive ones, a lot of the things that I shy away from, a lot of the fears that I have. And so if I have this thought that's like, if you want to discover things about yourself, you want to go on a self development journey, open your own business, try to do things on your own, because it will really reveal, all of the things that, um, all of the things that need addressing and you need to focus on in your life. And even though there have been challenges, there have been good times, I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. And I'm excited to see where things go, and where, my business, my community, all of the things that I'm working on, where it goes. Um, yeah, this has definitely been one of the biggest self development journeys. And I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still discovering things about myself, both positive and negative. Um, and just genuinely excited for where it goes. And I hope you all join me for the journey, um, as we reach this 10-year mark. Doctor, 5-year mark being a coach. If any of this resonates with you, if you connect to my story in any way, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. And if you're a working woman wanting to change how you work, and how you take care of yourself, and not lose yourself in, serving others, and following your dreams and your ambitions, this is the space for you. We will be going all into, focusing on your well-being, your health, your nutrition, your movement, the way you take care of yourself, all of these self-care things, and the way you think about your health and wellness as well, the total mind, body, soul. So if any of that resonates with you, I hope these lessons were helpful, and you really got some insights and kind of background on my own journey, and it had you thinking about all of the things in your own life and your journey as well. So I hope this was helpful, and I'm excited for what 2026 holds, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.